Maybe she is great.
She is not missing.
I'm Gabi, that's Jordan.
Red flag, red flag.
I'm sure, I know I'm the villain in that story.
Hi, good morning. And welcome to the Z-list celebrities.
It's fall. It's Florida fall.
It is Florida
sweater.
fall. So, wait, hold on. Before we start this,
Okay.
have I told you about my AC in my apartment? So, it freezes all the time. And one time we were away for the weekend, and it froze, and it dripped, and it caused water damage in the apartment underneath us.
Okay.
So they had to, move them out and, replace a bunch of stuff. So we asked them for a new filter, and it's because they don't change our filters. In our lease, it says they have to give us a filter once a month. They don't.
Oh,
So
so
we have
us
to
were
ask.
responsible for it.
And so we keep asking them to bring us a filter, and they won't. Our filter is, black right now, and it's frozen.
It's
and
frozen?
my apartment is 78 degrees.
Oh, no.
It's
Kyle
summer
just-
in my apartment.
Kyle and I just replaced ours, by which I mean Kyle replaced them, not I.
I do, and then I bend it, and Matt's like, "You can't bend it." And I'm like, "Okay, then you put it in."
You're like, fine, then you do it.
Sure.
If you want a man to do something for you, just continuously do it wrong.
Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Exes.
Perfect segue. We're talking about exes. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first,
Or-
and then I want to rate all of your exes.
Oh, okay, we can do that. So basically, today we are going to give you each an ex story. We have not heard these stories about each other's exes yet, so this is complete blind reaction. Wow, I'm having trouble getting situated today. But yeah, so I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
We're gonna use code names, obviously. We're gonna call. Because we don't want to introduce
Wait,
anyone.
will any of your friends know this code name?
Yeah, my code name's pretty obvious.
Okay.
Everybody will know my code name if they know me.
Okay.
If they don't know me, then it's
my
irrelevant.
code name is way too obvious.
Yeah, see, okay, we're on the same page.
Okay.
My code name's very obvious. My mom will know the code name. It's
So
like
my
that.
mother will be like, "Oh, that boy."
So, we're gonna be talking about the Brit today. The Brit. So.
Was there an accent? I just need to know.
Mm-hmm.
That's hot.
Your girl loves tall boys' accents. Kyle's got an accent. Kyle's tall. Sold. Southern. Have you not heard him talk? He's very good at masking it. Very good at masking.
I have never realized that.
Okay, well, when we
Okay.
leave this room, you can
Yeah.
go out there. You'll hear it now that I've said it. It's the best. It comes out more when he's talking to his parents.
See,
Really bad in action. The first time I ever heard it, we were driving in the van, and his parents called, and it was a whole different person answered that phone. I was like, "Who are you?" He goes, "Well, I've spent the last 6 years in North Dakota hiding the fact that I'm from Alabama." I was like, fair enough. So, yes, accents.
Okay.
They're always a thing. I feel like every girl, accents. Doesn't matter what kind of
Oh,
accent it is
yeah.
either. It could be British, it could be Australian, it could be Southern.
Any
it could be,
accent.
accents are just, they're it. So, it was pre-COVID,
Okay.
early pre-COVID. So end of 2020, or end of 2019, beginning of 2020.
Okay.
I was in a no dating phase. I was feeling pretty good about that.
Right.
I feel like I always put myself in a no dating phase and then people come out of the woodworks.
It's
But-
healthier that way, I feel like.
It is, because you're not looking and you
Yeah.
have realistic expectations.
And then it just comes along.
Mm-hmm. So I was out at Bar Howard, actually, for our Tampa friends back in the rage
Oh.
days. And I was with my old roommate at the time, and I ended up meeting this guy. Hard to miss because he was 6'6".
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you never lose
That's
him in
a
a crowd.
tree.
It was a tree. A scrawny beanpole tree, let me tell you.
Okay.
So, we started chatting. He bought me a couple of drinks. I noticed the accent. That was kind of the start of it. And I was pretty adamant that was not going to be a thing. But he was pretty persistent. He invited me over for a fight night this is when I was bringing up the other day when you're the Conor McGregor fight. I was trying to figure out if this was the same night.
Oh, it was the second one probably because that was a big one.
It was the
too.
second one.
Yeah.
It was the one where I think it was with Cowboy, and he knocked Cowboy out in the first 5 seconds. We waited all night for this fight. We watched it at his friend's house.
Mhm.
To watch 2 seconds of it. I was like,
It-
what a
You're
ginormous
up
waste
until
of my time.
1 a.m. and you're just I'm so ready to go home.
I was I could have gone home 4 hours ago. But so we kind of started dating, and not dating at the same time, because he made it adamantly clear the night he met me. He was like, just an FYI, I'm about to be deported.
Deported?
Yeah, deported.
Okay.
Because, you know, another country. So, yeah, deported. So basically, we agreed that we weren't going to be a thing. Like, we weren't going to do that. Okay. A chronic, if we're going to get deep here, a chronic issue of mine is I'm very good at being the fun, funky, make you fall in love with me girl in the beginning, and it's all infatuation, then it wears off really quickly. Most of my boyfriends have always started out with like, you're the one, I'm going to marry you, and then quite literally chronically or after that we're like, oh my god, actually that was all infatuation. It's heartbreaking. It's like my fatal flaw. Poor Kyle over there deals with my trauma all the time of like, well, one day you're just going to fall out of love with me, and he's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, but
maybe
that's all I know. So like, I'm really chronically, as depressive as that sounds, I'm like very pessimistic now when somebody's head over heels for me in the beginning, because I'm very used to that kind of trauma situation. So he obviously, because who wouldn't, madly.
I mean, are you kidding?
She wears false sweaters. She wears headbands.
It's the hair. My fucking hands.
She sprayed it last night. Look at mine compared to yours. If you're not watching this, if you're just listening to us, I highly recommend, actually when this episode airs, I'll post a picture of her hands versus my hands, because, wow, I could use a tan. Pretty. I've really taken the fall energy to a max of like, let's no longer go out in the sun. Anyways, so basically, he fell in love, or what he thought was love. And I was excited about that, because, you know, you're always optimistic in the beginning.
I love that, like, first stage, when, like, you're head over heels for each other, and, like, all you want to do is, like, be around each other, be, like, touchy-feely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, it's just unparalleled. Actually, no, you say you love that phase, but I love the phase, actually, where you can sit next to each other and somebody farts and you laugh. I like that phase. Where it's like, you no longer care what's going on with them over there. You're just like, everything's funny to you, and, you know, it's a little more comfortable.
I mean, it's still funny.
I love comfortability, personally.
Like, in that part, it's like, I'm dying, like, crying. And I'm like, why does it smell like that? You weirdo.
Kyle's gonna kill me for saying this, but this morning he was taking a picture for me for a brand, and he just low and rip in the middle of taking pictures. And I was like, sir. That's the love we're looking for. Anyways, so he starts like head over heels falling, but we are aware that we're on a time crunch. Like, deportation is at the door, it's knocking. Some background is it's funny too, because like he had an accent, but he has grown up here in like Florida since he was 6 years old.
But like country Florida or like
Wesley Chapel.
Okay.
So I mean, I will say there's definitely, it's like kind of a weird vibe, because I learned a lot about like the system, like our system of how we let people in, how you can SIPs and stuff like that. And so his parents owned a business here, and since he is a child, or was a child, he could stay under his parents' visa. Okay. But then when you turn 18, you have to get your own visas. And you can do school visas, you can do work visas, you can do so much, you can do travel visas, but at a certain point, they're like, okay, you've got to go. And he was a year, 2 years older than me, so they were at that point where like, you've got to go. And, like, the whole plan was to go get deported and then figure out a way to come back permanently, whether that be, like, a permanent work business visa, hopefully not with me, marriage, like, you know, like, there's visas to do that with. But we were very well aware that he was going to be deported.
Okay.
So that time starts ticking around, and he does, in fact, get deported. And we had kind of agreed that we weren't going to do anything after that. But he, of course, because, like I said, love.
We have a Victoria's Secret's angel over here, if you didn't know.
Cute
runway walk.
No, he all of a sudden was like, I'm going to make this work. I'm in love with you. Like, I'm going to make this work. We're going to make this work. So I made a whole plan that I was actually going to go visit him during his deportation. And then when it was over, he was going to come back. We were going to date. He was very adamant that I did respect. He was always like, I'm never going to like pressure you into marrying me for a visa. Like, I'll figure out other ways to be there. And I was like, thank God, because I'm not going to marry you for a visa. Like, whew. It's like, that's not happening. I was going to have to burst your bubble.
If someone said that to me, like, I feel like alarms would go off. Like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Oh, I'm the queen of ignoring red flags. The queen.
friends.
Old Gabi was. But, so, you know, we're going through that phase, everything like that, and, you know, this was all pre-COVID.
Yeah.
So then COVID hits.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, he left February, and then March comes around, and COVID hits, and I had a whole trip planned for May, because it was supposed to be, like, a 6-month deportation, so I was going to go at the 3-month mark, and then...
Okay.
So, COVID hits, and he's still trying to want to do this, like, long-distance thing. I have nothing better to do. I'm sitting locked in my apartment with my roommate at the time and her boyfriend, which was just, like, I just third-wheeled that whole quarantine. It was horrendous.
That sounds terrible.
The worst.
Oh my god. I don't even know what I would do.
I don't know.
I would like literally get COVID on purpose just so I could like quarantine in my room and no one had to talk to me.
It wasn't my favorite time of my life, I will tell you that. But yeah, so he starts getting, clearly he's in another country he's never really lived in before by himself during COVID. He gets a little depressive and it's starting to like be taken out on me, which I think everybody, if we're going to get like serious with it here, everybody during COVID had their own form of like a little bit of mental issues, depression, like everybody had a different form of it. And I don't fault him for that. That was like, I don't know what that was like to live in another country that you have no friends in, and it's got to be hard. But it started to be like negatively taken out on me, or like it was constant just like mean behavior and stuff like that. And I kept putting up with it because I was like, it's a hard time right now.
Yeah.
And I think I learned a lot about that experience, about it's not my job, even if you feel like you love somebody, to be their therapist, to feel like you're going to put up with emotional or manipulative mental abuse because of it. Like there's so many little things that go into that I had to learn the hard way that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
So I ended up ending the relationship. I was like, and I feel like he forced my hand in it. It was definitely one of those things where he didn't want to be with me and I could tell, but he was going to make me do the breaking up.
Okay.
So I was like, whatever, you know, like I was very upset at the time. One of my good friends who I actually met through him was very like, no, like he's so in love with you, he's going to come around. I think the worst thing, actually, here's a lesson to all. I don't think I was actually very in love with him. I was in love with, I was the girl that changed him. His friends gassed me up all the time. We've never seen him like this. He's so great with you.
How long was this period that you guys dated?
Like maybe 4 months, 5 months.
That's aggressive.
It was super, but that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like most people when I do date, it's very hot and heavy in the beginning and then it dwindles. So this wasn't out of character for me.
Yeah.
But his friends gassing me up like that, it really put pressure on it. Or like, I don't know, at first it was like, ooh, I'm the girl that changed him. But then it like, when it wasn't working anymore, it was almost like I was trying to force it because I was holding on to that feeling, not the actual feelings I had in that relationship. Okay. Very odd. So here's your note. If you're a friend and like, I don't know, I feel like friends' opinions almost have to sometimes stay out of the relationship.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Like I know you want to protect your friends, but I've lost friendships over caring too much about their boyfriend. Like I've had friends that I had too strong of an opinion about their relationship because I didn't like the boyfriend, and it completely ruined our friendship.
That sucks.
It does.
Are they still together?
They are. They are. So I'm sure, I know I'm the villain in that story.
Am I the villain?
Am I the villain? I just saw a lot of red flags in that relationship that I didn't love. And apparently they worked through those, and like, I'm sure people have felt the same way about some of my relationships. I should have kept my mouth shut. I learned my lesson. In this case scenario, it was coming at me, and I was hearing good things, and I wanted to hold on to that instead of hold on to like what the relationship really was. So I feel like it's just like that lesson, that period in my life, because that was actually happening on both ends for me at the same time. I learned a lot in that 2020 year of like, stay in your own relationship. Like stay in your lane, but stay in your own relationship. I think that was like a tough pill for me to swallow.
I think it's different when you ask for advice from your friends, and they give you advice you don't want to hear, and then you break off the friendship, and it's like you asked for that advice rather than like unsolicited advice. It's like I don't want your advice unless I ask. unless it's like really bad. Like I saw him out last night.
Oh, that's like, different.
Completely different. Tell
if you
me.
know something,
FaceTime me in the moment.
Well, if you know something, say something.
Yeah.
But, like, if it's just an inkling or an opinion or, like, you just don't like the guy, you can't. So I learned that the hard way.
Keep it to yourself.
But I did, a lot of his friends and my friends at the time were like, no, you guys are going to get back together. Like, it's the situation right now because COVID was weird. Nobody knew what was going to happen. I ended up getting in the van, and he spent the first half of the van before I even met Kyle or, like, started on that journey. He spent the whole first half being mad at me because it was something he had wanted to do with us, and he was mad I did it by myself. So I felt like a little bit, like, bullied in that sense. And then continuously, like, I kept giving him ultimatums. Like, I was like, you're back in the country now, because he came back while I was gone, and he's back permanently here now.
In Florida?
I don't know if he still lives in Florida. I haven't kept up with that, and I feel like that no, but I know that he's back in the U.S. from our mutual friends. But I don't think he's in Florida anymore. I don't know.
When did he come back?
It was right when I got in the van, so October of 2020.
Well, from March to October, that's
it was
a large time frame.
Yeah, and then also then from October to the next March, before I met Kyle, I gave him all these opportunities to be like, come spend a week in the van. Let's see if we can fix this. Like, let's make this work. And he just didn't want to do it. And it was so frustrating to me because, like, you wasted so much of my time. Like, while in another country, like, wasted so much of my time. And I just, like, had no respect for that. It was just, it really soured everything that was left of that. Because, and all of it was never because I actually had, like, extremely strong feelings for him. It was because I held on to his friends saying that I was special. It wasn't even him really being like, you're special. It was, oh my God, we've never seen him act this way. Oh my gosh, like, you changed him. Like, he's like a changed man. And I don't know why girls love that, but, like, we love to hear that. We love a fixer-upper. We love to say that, like, we were the ones that made the difference.
See, I don't like that with, like, their personality. I like that in the sense of, like, I can change your style. I can change, like, your, almost like your personality. But, like, if they're an asshole, they're an asshole.
Yeah. Know? I think that the world has a stigma, though, with, especially girls, like, have a stigma with, like, we want the bad boy that's only nice to us. You know?
I don't know, I want a guy that's nice to everyone.
And that's why I love you. And I picked the nice guy now, and I love it so much more.
Pick the nice guy.
So much more
I have
enjoyable.
Picked the asshole before, and we'll talk about it, but I married the nice guy. Marry the nice guy. Literally.
I love my nice guy. He fills up my water every night.
They look out for your friends.
They do.
They look out for your friends.
And
unless they don't like them. Then it's like, red flag. Should we be friends?
Well, isn't that the most important thing, too, is that they care about the people and the things that you care about?
Yes. Yeah. Like, last night, I really wanted to watch Aquaman. Matt hates DC movies. He sat through the movie with me. And he was like, this is terrible. And I'm like, it's so good. And he's like, this is terrible.
I love that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but that's the Brit. So I did. I stayed in a relationship with somebody that quite literally did not live in this country all of COVID.
He had an accent. I don't blame you, honestly.
It wasn't a strong accent. I think that's what I enjoyed about it, though, is, like, it wasn't, like, one of those heavy, like, English ones where it's, like, Cockney and you can't understand anyone what they're saying. I'm really bad at accents.
I was going to say, what was that?
I don't know.
It's like
should we speak in British accents for the rest of the episode?
I don't know how to speak in a British accent.
Give it your best.
Hello.
Hello, Poppet. Fancy a cup of tea, do ya?
So, can we see photos? Or can I see photos?
Well, I think we should rate each other's exes now.
Okay.
You got some?
I need to preface this by saying I've only, before Matt, I met Matt when I was 20. When I got to college, I didn't have a boyfriend because I was in that crazy girl party stage. You wanted every guy at the party, and you're just like, okay, I'm done with you now.
Jordan was a different breed.
I was a different breed. So I had a high school boyfriend, and then I had a brief boyfriend right before I met Matt.
Okay.
And then I have a guy, we didn't date, but I was definitely in love with him. Like, head over heels. I thought we were going to get married. even though he made it clear from the start that that was not going to happen.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, well, maybe.
I was a serial dater, to be honest. I was not hookup party queen.
Okay.
I really liked to date. I liked that special feeling. I don't know.
Okay.
Serial monogamous. Didn't mean it always lasted long enough. It could be like we dated for 3 months and I was like, he was my boyfriend, which is a little cuckoo. But you look back on your like young college self and you're like, he wasn't my boyfriend.
I look back and I'm like, wow, I really had severe daddy issues. Like, severe. Like, I did. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, no.
Like, it was...
Okay.
I think I've kind of gotten over that.
Well, I want to see yours first. Or we'll do one,
Wait,
or
yes.
the other.
Okay. So, this
Are we rating them on, like, a scale of 1 to 10 or just saying, oh, I can see you with that, like, what's the scale here?
1 to 10.
Okay. It's funny, I was actually at a friend's house the other day, and she brought up this, like, really good perspective, actually, and her neighbor has this scale. Shout out to Amanda. I'll make sure she's tagged in this for this. Her neighbor has this scale, and it's either, there's no 1 to 10 for human beings. It's either 0 or 1. You would be with them, you would sleep with them, they're 1.
Okay.
If you wouldn't, they're 0. And there's no, like, oh, like, it's situational, like, even if, like my question was like, well, what if you're drunk and you slept with someone you feel like you wouldn't have slept with before? She goes, it's still 0 or 1. Like, even if you're drunk, you're a 0 or you're a 1.
That's good. That's good.
But we're not going to rate that way. We're going to still do 1 to 10. Out of attractiveness for the other person. Not for ourselves.
High school.
He looks just like my high school ex, so I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Alright.
Just like mine. Okay, wait, hold on. Here's my high school one.
Oh, wow.
Don't they look just alike?
Yeah. So he's a ginger.
He's got ginger undertones,
Yeah.
for sure. So does Kyle.
Wow, they do.
So
Okay, I'm gonna give him, like 6.
Okay, next.
Okay. I'm gonna show you a few pictures of him so you can really get, like, the vibe.
Okay.
So this is the first one.
He looks like a kid I went to high school with.
Second one.
Okay.
And then third.
I'm giving him a 5. You like a nerdy boy.
He had a lot of money.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I do like a nerdy boy.
Okay, this is a today picture of this one.
Okay.
Not when I dated him. He's changed a lot.
Okay. I need to tell everyone there's a fish in this photo.
Of course there is. He's cliche white boy.
It's gonna be a 3 just because of the fish.
Okay, let me give you another one.
Yeah, I need another one.
From, like, childhood. Or not childhood. We were not children. This was college. So he looks completely different, right?
He does. Okay, the beard suits him. The one without the beard, no.
Well, he looks like a baby.
He does. Yeah, I'd probably give him a 5.
Okay. That's really surprising to hear because when I was dating him in college, if you asked any one of my friends, he was way out of my league. He was older. He was an athlete. Like, way out of my league.
All my guys were older. I always loved older guys.
I feel like I'm trying to, like, prove that I wasn't dating a 5 over here. Hold on.
No, I could see. Okay, let me go back to high school. High school self. Yes, very attractive. I would have had a crush.
But he just didn't age well. Is the problem? You know when that happens.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, give me the last.
Okay, this is the one who I was head over heels in love with at the ripe age of 17.
Oh, that beard's too much for me. It's the beard with, like, the slightly balding hairline. It's just too much. Like, how can you grow that much on your face, but you're losing it on your head?
Wait, let me find a new one. Yeah, he was balding.
He's better younger. That's how it always is, though, right? Yeah, no. I'm giving that one a 4.
So bad.
Okay, here's my last one.
So bad.
Here's my last one.
Oh, he kind of looks like your first guy, too.
I feel like I've dated types, for sure.
Yeah, okay. The mustache is a little weird. That's you.
That's me.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that is me. Okay, here's the thing that you're gonna now find hilarious. My mom never liked him. She never even met him, and she never liked him.
So,
and she was
from that,
adamant.
I'm gonna give him a 0. Because Mom didn't like him.
Well, you know what the best part was? And she's going to get so mad that I said this, but I'm going to say it anyways. I told her not to listen to this podcast, so if you hear this, then you're listening against my permission, and you should turn the app off.
Rule breaker.
Rule breaker. But my mom quite literally used to tell me that he looked like either a pedophile or he had a porn star mustache. She absolutely could not stand his mustache.
But why does it split like that?
I don't know.
Like,
We all have
really
questions. Hold on.
confused.
I feel like there's another one. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, why does it do that?
I don't know. His Facebook's a weird space. But yeah, no, that was a bad phase in my life. But my mom does say that she's like, yeah, it was like a porn stash or it was like a pedophile stash, and she absolutely hated it. She's never said a bad word about Kyle's mustaches, so it was clearly his was just bad.
If you guys have never seen Kyle's mustache, it's giving Miles Teller. So, like...
He's gonna be so happy you said that.
It doesn't freaking make a balding triangle in the middle. This guy's mustache literally
just splits.
It's like a part, and then there's like nothing.
Gosh damn. Okay.
Okay, well anyways.
Enough of that. It's your turn. It's your turn.
I'm going to tell you, it's kind of quick, the high school boyfriend. We're going to call him the Ginger.
Ooh.
Ginge Man. And from this relationship, I will never date a ginger.
Okay.
Ever. Because I think they don't have souls.
Hey.
Do you have a soul?
I'm like half ginger.
Okay.
And he's half ginger.
You have half soul.
We're going to have ginger babies.
Make sure they have a soul. Because the one that I dated did not have a soul. Let me tell you, this man really effed me up.
Let's hear it.
So,
why didn't you show me a picture of the ginger?
I did. That was the first one I showed you.
Oh, he's not that ginger.
Okay, in the photo, he doesn't look ginger.
Oh,
He
okay.
doesn't look that
it.
ginger, but he is a ginger. It's like
Keep
freckles and everything. Don't say that. No.
Okay, let's hear it.
Let's start out with the time in my life. I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I had a severe eating disorder that his mom would always tell him, like, she's too skinny. Like, she's way too skinny. And I'm just like, oh my god. And now I get the opposite, which is so weird. But anyways, so there was that.
Don't you love beauty standards?
It's terrible. So, like, that was a thing in itself. His dad passed away, which was, like, really, really sad. So he was kind of, like, fucked up because he was really close with his dad.
Okay.
But his mom would go out of town a lot, and he would have these house parties. And he had a really nice pool, huge, so he would always have pool parties. He would invite girls over, which was fine, because, like, he went to an all-boys Christian school. And he played football there. So, obviously, like, he's going to have girlfriends. I was extremely jealous. Like, always extremely jealous. And I was always on edge about certain girls because they looked like me. And he was friends with them. And, like, flirtatiously friends with them. So I was always on edge. So he had this pool party and he invited this one girl who coincidentally works at Dunkin' Donuts now. No offense to anyone who works at Dunkin' Donuts, but if you're 28 and your career is Dunkin' Donuts,
it's a little bit of a red flag. A little bit.
Yeah, so her and this group of girls, there was like 3 of them, hated me.
Okay.
For whatever reason. And made it their like little high school life goal to make us break up and make my life literally miserable.
Don't you hate high school girls?
Yes.
Ugh.
So here's the backstory. So we were definitely in love with each other. Like, my first ever love.
Okay.
I would always be at his house, like, all the time. We didn't go to the same school. So, like, after school, I was there. On the weekends, I was there. He was older than me, so he got recruited to play football. And then he left while I still had, like, 2 years left of high school. But anyways, we got into this fight one day because this was when Twitter was big. And these girls were, like, antagonizing me and basically, like, being flirtatious with him on Twitter, like in the open. And he's like, no, like it's no big deal, like it's fine. And I'm like, it is not fine. Like, what do you mean? And
You're
then
like, no, you're wrong.
yeah, so
Canceled.
that was like an argument. So we were fighting, and it happened to be like that night we were going to a concert.
Okay.
And these girls were going to be at the concert because in upstate New York, everyone goes to SPAC to see concerts, like in the summer. Like, that's what you do in upstate New York.
Okay.
If there's a SPAC concert, whether it's Fish, Luke Bryan, or Jonas Brothers, like, you're there.
Okay. It's like how you spend your summer. I like
yeah,
it.
exactly.
It's a fun summer.
So we go to this concert, the girls are there. He is so drunk. Like, I have a picture of it. Like, we had UV blue. He's like blue in the mouth drunk. Like, it was so bad.
What is
And
up with you and UV blue? This is the second story
High
where you brought up
school.
UV blue.
High school, man. That's all I drank in high school. Oh, I have heartburn from this coffee.
Or maybe it's just thinking about UV blue.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So he's like running away from me at this concert, like in circles, like left the concert running, and I have to chase after him. I'm like, this is hell. This is hell.
Oh no.
So I finally like get him in the car. He's like passed out. I bring him home. His mom's not home, so I had to drag him up the stairs, and drunkenly confessed to me that he thinks these girls are attractive, and he kind of likes them. And high school me is like, well, I'm just like so in love with you, like it's fine, just like, can you block them? And he's like, yeah, I'll block them. I'll block them all. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I wanted. Like, just don't talk to them.
Yeah.
If you find them attractive or whatever, or you're flirting with them in text message. So that happens. He had a pool party, and I was out of town because I went to the Cape in the summer.
Okay.
So I was in the Cape, and he had a pool party, and these girls were there.
You just knew.
Post saying he was gonna block them. Yeah, so I knew immediately, and then we got into a large fight. I came home. We were still fighting for like 2 weeks after that, and I wanted to go to one of my high school parties, and I went to a school. I graduated with probably like 800 kids. My school was giant.
I was gonna say mine
Yeah.
was so small compared to yours.
So our high school parties were like wild. So this kid was like, we're having like an end of the summer party, like it's gonna be crazy. He was like, I don't want you to go, like I'm scared you're gonna cheat on me. And I was like, I've never cheated on you. I've never flirted with a guy.
Also,
Yeah, right.
You reap what you sow, bro.
Right? So I'm like, if now that I think about it, I'm like, wow, he was just like projecting almost.
Yeah.
So I go to this party. We got into a text like massive fight and broke up.
Over this party.
Over this party. Over me
Okay.
going to this party. So I'm at the party. And I make out with another guy who I had a crush on because we had broken up.
Yeah.
Um,
Also, it's high school.
yeah, exactly. So, we're making out, one thing led to another. We did not have sex. I need to make that clear. We did not have sex. There were just other things that happened that weren't sex. And apparently he showed up to the party.
Looking for you?
Looking for me. And
Oh,
I'm
no,
in the
no,
room
no.
making out with this other guy. And so he couldn't find me, and so he left. And then the next day, he's like, we need to talk. And I'm like, okay. Apparently, he didn't think we broke up. So he's like, you cheated on me, blah,
That's
blah.
like the cliche of a narcissist.
Yeah,
Like,
so I'm like, I didn't cheat on you. So I had to, like, play it off because I'm still so in love with him. I'm like, no, I didn't cheat on you. Like, no, I didn't. And he's like, no, you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. Like, I swear, like, I did not. And then a few weeks later, he gets a text from someone. I don't know who it is. To this day, I don't know who it is. Reveal yourself.
reveal yourself. We don't care anymore. But like, reveal
Saying
yourself.
that I'll use a code name for this. Your girlfriend was making out with Brad at the party, and they locked themselves in the room. And he showed me the text, and I was like, I don't know who that is. Sorry. Like, knowing damn well I did it. But I had thought we were broken up, and apparently we weren't. So anyways.
No. What it sounds like is a narcissist. You broke up with him, and then he decided you weren't broken up,
Yeah.
and since you were a young girl, you went
Yeah.
with that. But I don't think that in any way, shape, or form, like, this isn't a Ross and Rachel situation where,
No.
like, I thought we were broken up. You guys were broken up.
Yeah.
And he bullied you into thinking you
Yeah.
weren't because he's a narcissist.
So we get back together, or we've never broken up in this case. And then, like, everything's fine. He's, like, still, like, on edge that, like, I'm going to cheat on him. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not. Like, I want to stay together when you leave for college. Because he was leaving early to, like, train for football.
Yeah.
So he had one last party. I didn't go. These girls went, though. And I didn't know this at the time, but I think that he hooked up with one of the girls, who was, like, the headmaster of this group of girls. And then the week prior to them hooking up, and I still didn't know, they were, like, indirect tweeting at me. Do you remember, like, indirect tweets?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit? Okay.
Just, like, where you, like, kind of subtweet somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, you don't tag them, but, like,
Yeah.
they know it's... Okay, so she was saying this, and, like, they were just, like, making fun of me, like, oh, like, good luck dating a girl who, like, isn't playing a D1 sport in college. And I'm like, what? Like, what?
Little
Girl,
do they
you
know.
play softball.
Also, Jordan was, like, basically a pro skier in college,
But, like,
so...
You play softball.
So she's a lesbian now.
I don't know, but, like, she just, like, she, like, kept going and kept going and kept going, and I'm like, okay, like, what is wrong with this girl? I gotta tell you the Dunkin' Donuts story after, but, so he finally admits, so apparently I get drunk one night at his house and tell him that I cheated on him, and I woke up the next day, and I don't remember, because I was in high school, like, I drank way too much, and he was like, yeah, you told me last night that you cheated on me, and I'm like, I don't think I did, and he was like, no, you did, and I'm like,
That's one way to sneaky get you in a lie.
I was like, I don't think I did. He was like, I swear, like, you said this, this, and this, and I'm like, alright, fine, sure, I did it. I made out with him, but I thought we were broken up. And he was like, how did you think we were broken up? Like, blah, blah. He was like, well, that's why I slept with. And I was like, oh, so you cheated on me. I was like, that's funny. I was like, she looks like a man. She literally looks like a man. So, good for you. You're gay. You're gay.
You're gay.
So, we had, like, broken up for a while, and then he, like, tried to, like, get me to, like, be back with him, and I was like, I just can't. And then he left for college, and, like, we tried to, like, work things out, but it didn't work out. Anyways, back to this girl.
Dunkin' Donuts?
Dunkin' Donuts. So, last year, or a year and a half ago, I was in New York visiting my family, and I went to Dunkin' Donuts.
I know where this is going.
I went to Dunkin' Donuts in my friend's, like, nice-ass Beamer. Like, easily, like, a $90,000 car. And I had, like, a really expensive person. I was like, I'm just gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts. I go through the drive-thru, and I look just very expensive. I'm not, but I just, like, look very expensive.
It's appearing as.
Yeah. So, I go up, I pull up, I order, and then I go to the window, and I look over, and I'm like, damn, how'd that D1 softball scholarship work out?
Oh,
Like,
no.
what? Yeah, so that was just full circle moment for me. I'm like, well, D1 sports will not get you everywhere in life.
It's always so nice knowing that, like, the people that really hurt you
Yeah.
didn't, not that, like, we want people to suffer or anything like that, but, like, bad karma to bad people, you know?
Yeah, it's not like she hated me for no reason. Like, she was mean to me for no reason.
No, her reason was she liked your boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's her reason. It's not no reason.
Yeah.
She had a reason. It's a dumb reason, is what it is.
So, what's funny is, at this time that I was dating him, I had a best friend. She was also a ginger, but we looked exactly alike. So, it was like, I had dark hair, she was a ginger, we looked like twins. People always asked us if we were twins or sisters or whatever. As soon as we broke up, she was like my best friend, like sister.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I broke up with the ginger, she slid right in there. Yeah.
Girls are weird.
Now, I
Girls
have a
are
hard
so
time
weird.
trusting girls ever since. And I have a hard time in relationships because of everything I went through with him. Like, we dated for probably a year. Maybe a little less. But in high school, that's a long time. Like,
Yeah.
especially when you're seeing someone every day and every weekend.
I strongly believe in, like, our guts as women, too, because, like, the way you said you kind of just knew something was going on with those girls.
Yeah.
My very first boyfriend, the one that looks like your very first boyfriend, I broke up with him, and, like, I was done with that relationship, and he was very upset and sad that I broke up with him, but while we were dating, I always, like, kind of knew. He ended up taking college courses at, like, we had a program where, like, you could go to the college, like, the community college, to take an extra course while you were in high school, and other high schools fed into that, and there was a girl at another high school that was in that class with him, and I remember him, like, always like being like, oh yeah, I'll give her a fake name. Katie and I are like friends, like Katie and I are this. They never hung out outside of class, especially while we were dating. But I always had a red flag about Katie. Lo and behold, I broke up with him. Not even 2 weeks later, they're dating. They're now married and they have a baby on the way. Like, it's just, you know when you know.
Yeah, you know.
Your gut, you know.
I had a strong feeling that, like, so he went to an all-boys Christian school, and their football team was, like, a really popular one. Like, every girl who was in, like, a surrounding school wanted to date, like, a football player from this specific school.
That's
it was
so
just, it was
New York
odd.
of you guys.
It was very odd. But then I started dating him, and I was like, well, I'm dating a football player from this school. But, like, I knew, like, even though, like, he wasn't the most attractive on that team, like, they just wanted to date him because he was a football player at that school.
Wow, status is so weird. How
Yeah.
status is determined, why,
Yeah.
what it is.
So
It's just
weird.
So weird.
Like, why in high school do you want to date a football player so bad?
And then you reach your, like, mid-20s and you're like, I want to date people that have money because I don't want to work.
I feel like I would date an NFL player, but, like, I just feel like they have a bad stigma. Like, they'll cheat on you.
Yeah, I don't. Loyalty is everything to me. So like,
Yeah.
there is a stigma with all athletes, which is unfortunate because I'm sure some are great.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a stigma with it. Well, it's the travel. It's the ability to. You're left unattended so often.
Oh my god, yeah.
You know. We love you, boys, but sometimes you think with the wrong head, if you know what I'm saying. So. But yeah.
I just got that. That was like a lag.
That was really, really bad. Well, guys,
yeah.
there's an ex story for you.
There's our trauma.
I feel like some of that was really good, like stress relief of like, wow, we just relieved some of that old trauma. Also
Yeah.
good to talk about the lessons we've learned.
Oh, yeah.
If that helps someone out there. I guess my lesson here is like, literally don't look for outside opinions in your relationship because it's not part of it. And I don't know. Yours is trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. Well, guys, we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Where are my glasses?
I don't know. I should put the penis glasses back on.